This just arrived, and actually there was an attempt to deliver it yesterday. I don't know if you'll be able to tell in this video or not, but I'm in a different location. So we have a little Gucci Flora card, a Gucci canvas bag. So I brought a few items to have a little mobile filming area. I hope this will still turn out as nice. A very nice envelope for the receipt. Gucci just had the one color online, so that's the one that I got, but I do have lots of comparisons for you and other blushes that are my favorite so we can compare the finish. I really want to check out the formula and the shade so I can give you a good indication if this is something that you'll want to pick up in other shades or if this is the best shade. So you've got the pouch here, really sweet pouch for the blush. Yeah, like I said, we were on the plane as this was attempting to be delivered yesterday. Otherwise, I would have had this up yesterday had I been here. And I will have some other new items coming in this week, which is why I thought I should bring a little setup here to film just so I could get that up for you. So this is the blush packaging. It's a luminous matte, and I like that description a lot. This is a shade Bright Coral 04. I think this is so pretty. Gucci packaging is always so attractive, really well done, very luxurious feeling. This has some really nice weight to it. Yeah, it's just really pretty. There's a little bit of packaging that sticks out, so it looks a little easier to open. So this is really looking like something that I was hoping it would look like because I'm on the search for one of my very favorite blushes that was limited edition by Chantecaille, the Flower Power Blush, which I brought, so we'll compare them. But it does have a little bit of luminosity to it, but not too much. Nothing detectable in terms of shimmer in there. That is my very favorite kind of blush formula. So I've also brought the CLE de Peau so we can compare that as well because that's another favorite blush formula. And I brought a few more, just things that have been go-tos for me that I want to swatch this against just so we can see if this will be a go-to as well. Beautiful looking. And I actually just took this outside so you could see what it looks like in natural light. I think it gives a really good indication of the finish. And then I also swatched it outside so you can see how pretty it is, how subtle it is. There is no detectable shimmer, my favorite kind of blush, but there is a lovely hint of a glow. So here are some of the blushes I'm going to compare it with. So these are amongst my favorite blushes. So we'll get an idea if I am going to like this formula or not. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch one of my current go-tos by Valentino. This is in number 9. By the way, that Gucci blush was very buttery on application, very smooth, very even. Lovely. These look very comparable, so let's swatch. Here's the Valentino number 9 next to it. It has almost a little bit more glow to it, it appears, the Valentino that is, and it's more sheer, and it's a lighter version of this, not as intense. So number 4 in Gucci seems to be more corally, so actually that reminds me of another blush I want to check this against by Chanel. This limited edition blush is what I wanted to test this against, not only for tone, but for finish. I loved the finish of this one. For reference, this is the Duo blush, the limited edition blush. So you can see there, the shade of that deeper part of the Duo looks much closer, but a little bit more pink than the new Gucci blush. It also has more of a glow. So the Gucci blush has less of glow. It's not that same kind of texture. The Gucci still has a powdery kind of element to it compared to something like that Chanel blush. Now this is a blush I mentioned I've been looking for a dupe for because it was limited edition. It's the Chantecaille Flower Power. You'll see how much I love this blush. So there's the blush. I know that's not pretty, but it is one of my very few products that I use all the way up. You can see the tones are very close, but I'm already seeing the finishes look a little different. You can see they are not dupes because that Chantecaille blush is way more luminous than the Gucci and also a different tone. It's much more intense than the Chantecaille blush. So not a dupe, but now I want to check it next to another favorite I haven't really worn in a while. Here we have one of the new Silky blushes. I think we can tell it's a little peachier, but I'm curious about the comparison in the finish. Here's the back of that blush for reference. Here's the Silky blush, definitely more of a glow, definitely more apricot almost, compared to the coral tone in the Gucci blush. So still the Gucci's more powdery than any of these blushes I think that I've swatched. It's probably closer to the Valentino than anything else right now. We've got my very well loved CLE de Peau blush. Love this one in 105. So you can see I like a little bit of a glow with no detectable particles. There's a theme there with those last few blushes, and this one's more glowy than that Gucci blush. Let's go in with a Chanel blush, just one of their standard blushes, and take a look. I'm curious about the finish here. So this is number 72. So you can see there that the Gucci blush does have a slight radiance compared to something like that number 72 that I just swatched. I also wanted to compare it to one of my favorite blushes until they stopped making it, by Tom Ford. This was a really, really lovely one. And this is 06 Inhibition. This Gucci looks like it has just slightly more glow than this one, but not much, just slightly. I also have a very old favorite by Charlotte Tilbury, but I can see already that one looks like it has more of a glow, but the shades look very, very similar. But if I mix those two shades in the Charlotte Tilbury, it looks like it would be similar to the Gucci shade. Look, Charlotte Tilbury has more of a glow. And then we've got this Hermes blush. I was trying to figure out which blush it looked closer to because I have some refills of the Hermes, but it looks like it might be these two combined. This is number 23, and this one here is 32. We have number 32 here, which is also not the same finish as, say, the Gucci. I forgot to mention this is Gucci's first powder blush made for pure creative expression. Its adaptable formula of smooth powders and pigments is infused with emollient waxes to deliver buildable, long-lasting color that intensifies seamlessly layer after layer. The hydrating ultra-thin powder cares for all skin types with an illusion of shea butter, hyaluronic acid, and black rose oil, blending easily for a second skin feel. Designed for versatility, every touch of Gucci's new powder blush comforts with a moment of self-care that helps skin feel as good as it looks. It's their first powder blush, a smooth, playful, multi-use color for cheeks and eyes. It's special because it offers a buildable, long-lasting, luminous matte color, whether looking for a lightly flushed look or a daring flushed look. It's an ultra-thin powder which blends effortlessly and provides a mistake-proof makeup application. It's a skin-loving formula and delivers a beautiful color, but also comfort and care. And it does have a scent, it says, a vintage peony, a vintage floral accord composed of peony and freesia and modernized by a watery citrus accord. And I have to say, before I read that, I didn't even notice a fragrance. I just checked to see how strong the fragrance is. It seems very faint, but I know some people are sensitive to fragrance, so just know there is a fragrance associated with this. But let me know if you have any questions about this, how you'd like to see it applied. I will be happy to try to make more comparisons. I'll be happy to give it a try. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.